Let me ask you something. You've been watching the World Cup. You've seen the goals. You've felt the tension. You've watched crowds go absolutely insane over results you didn't fully understand. But here's the question nobody wants to admit they don't know the answer to. Do you actually know what's happening? Do you know why some teams get eliminated after 3 games while others keep playing? Do you know what happens when 2 teams finish with the same number of points? Do you know what extra time is, and why penalty shootouts exist, and why they are simultaneously the most exciting and most terrifying 6 minutes in all of sports? Most people watching the World Cup right now don't fully understand the rules. They watch, they react, they cheer, but they're missing half of what's actually happening on that field. By the end of this video, that changes. Every rule, every format, every tiebreaker, every scenario, in 8 minutes. Plain English. No experience required. Let's go. Okay, the World Cup has 2 stages. Stage 1 is called the group stage. This is where we are right now. Here's how it works. 48 teams are divided into 12 groups. Each group has 4 teams. Every team plays against the other 3 teams in their group. 1 game each. 3 games total per team. Now, how do teams earn points? Simple. Win a game, 3 points. Draw, meaning the game ends tied, 1 point each. Lose, 0 points. After all 3 games are played in a group, you look at the standings. The top 2 teams from each group advance automatically. That gives us 24 teams. But here's where 2026 is different from previous World Cups. Because we have 48 teams instead of the old 32, there's a new round this year. The 8 best third-place teams from across all 12 groups also advance. That brings the total to 32 teams going into the knockout stage. So how do you know which third-place teams qualify? This is where tiebreakers come in. If 2 or more teams finish with the same number of points, FIFA uses this exact order to decide who advances. First, goal difference. That's goals scored minus goals conceded. Second, total goals scored. Third, disciplinary record, yellow cards and red cards. Fourth, FIFA World Ranking. Here's why this matters right now. Today, in 2026, every single game in the group stage matters. Even if a team wins their first 2 games and is already guaranteed to advance, the margin of victory in that 3rd game could determine whether they finish first or second in the group. And finishing first versus second in your group completely changes who you face in the next round. In the World Cup, the difference between first and second place in a group can be the difference between facing an easy opponent or facing the defending champion in the round of 32. Every game, every goal, every minute counts. Stage 2, the knockout rounds. This is where the World Cup becomes something else entirely. The rule is brutally simple. Win or go home. 1 loss, 1 bad game, 1 missed penalty, and 4 years of preparation. For some players, an entire career ends in 90 minutes. Here's the structure of the 2026 knockout stage. Round of 32, 32 teams, 16 games, 16 teams advance. Round of 16, 16 teams, 8 games, 8 teams advance. Quarterfinals, 8 teams. For games, for teams advance. Semifinals, for teams, 2 games, 2 teams advance. 3rd place playoff. The 2 losing semifinalists play for bronze. The final, July 19th, MetLife Stadium, New Jersey. 1 champion. Now, what happens if a knockout game is tied after 90 minutes? This is where it gets interesting. First, extra time. 2 additional periods of 15 minutes each, 30 minutes total. The teams keep playing. If someone scores, the game continues until the 30 minutes are up. Not like the old golden goal rule where the first goal ended it. If the score is still tied after extra time, then comes the moment that has ended careers, broken hearts, and created legends. The penalty shootout. Each team picks 5 players. Those players take turns shooting from the penalty spot, 12 yards from goal, 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. Best of 5. If it's still tied after 5 each, it goes to sudden death. 1 miss, and you're out. Here's what you need to understand about penalty shootouts. They are not random. They are psychological warfare. The pressure of walking up to that spot, with 80,000 people watching and a billion more at home, knowing that 1 kick decides everything. It is the most pressure any athlete in any sport ever faces in a single moment. Some of the greatest players in history have missed penalties in shootouts. Roberto Baggio in 1994. England, who missed so often it became a national joke. Even Lionel Messi early in his career. And some of the most unlikely heroes have won World Cups from the spot. That's the beauty of it. Okay, now let's talk about the rules of the actual game. Because if you've watched any match and found yourself confused, you're not alone. These things confuse people who've watched soccer for decades. Offside. This is the rule that causes more arguments, more confusion, and more VAR reviews than anything else in soccer. Here's the simple version. When a player receives the ball, they cannot be closer to the opponent's goal line than both the ball and the second-to-last defender, usually meaning all but the goalkeeper. In other words, you can't just stand next to the goalkeeper waiting for the ball. You have to be behind the defense when the ball is played to you. If you're caught offside, the play stops. No goal. Free kick to the other team. The reason this rule exists is to prevent players from camping next to the goal all game, waiting for easy chances. It forces teams to time their runs perfectly, which is why some of the most beautiful moments in soccer are perfectly timed runs that beat the offside trap. The yellow card and red card system. Every player starts with a clean slate. A yellow card is a warning for dangerous play, time wasting, or unsportsmanlike behavior. 2 yellow cards in the same game equals a red card, automatic ejection. You play the rest of the game with 10 men. A straight red card, for serious foul play or violent conduct, sends a player off immediately, no warning needed. Here's the World Cup twist. If a player receives yellow cards in 2 different games, they are suspended for the next game. This creates incredible tactical decisions. Do you risk your best player getting a second yellow card? Or do you protect him for the next round? Stoppage time or injury time. You've noticed the referee holds up a board with a number at the end of each half. That number represents the extra minutes added to compensate for time lost during substitutions, injuries, VAR reviews, and goal celebrations. In the 2022 World Cup, some games saw 10 or even 14 minutes of stoppage time added. It created some of the most dramatic last-minute goals in history. Never leave before the board goes up. VAR, Video Assistant Referee. Since 2018, the World Cup uses video technology to review key decisions. Goals, penalties, red cards, and mistaken identity can all be checked by a video referee watching multiple camera angles. When VAR is checking a decision, the referee makes a rectangle shape with their fingers, the TV symbol. The stadium goes quiet. Tension builds. Then the decision comes. VAR has saved teams and destroyed dreams in equal measure. Love it or hate it, and most fans do both. It's part of the modern World Cup. Now here's why all of this matters beyond the technical explanation. Every rule I just explained to you has, at some point, changed the course of history. In 1986, Diego Maradona scored a goal with his hand. The referee didn't see it. No VAR existed. Argentina went on to win the World Cup. It became one of the most controversial moments in sports history, and Maradona called it the hand of God. In 1994, Roberto Baggio, the best player in the world at the time, stepped up to take the final penalty kick of the World Cup final shootout. Italy versus Brazil. 1 kick to win the World Cup. He sent it over the crossbar. Brazil won. Baggio stood there, head down, hands on knees, in a moment of despair that became one of the most iconic images in sports photography. 1 kick. The entire World Cup. Gone. In 2010, Frank Lampard of England hit a shot that crossed the goal line by nearly a meter. The referee didn't see it. No goal was given. England lost to Germany 4-1. Goal line technology was introduced the following World Cup specifically because of that moment. The rules of soccer aren't just regulations. They are the architecture of drama. Every offside call, every red card, every penalty shootout exists within a system designed, whether intentionally or not, to produce the most tension, the most heartbreak, and the most joy possible from 90 minutes of a ball and 2 goals. Now you understand that system. And that means every match you watch from this point forward will hit differently. So let's recap everything you now know. The group stage, 12 groups of 4. 3 games per team. Top 2 advance automatically. Best 8 third-place teams also advance. Points, goal difference, goals scored. In that order, decide tiebreakers. The knockout stage, win or go home. Extra time if tied. Penalty shootout if still tied. Round of 32 all the way to the final on July 19th. The rules. Offside keeps the game honest. Yellow and red cards maintain discipline. Stoppage time means it's never over until it's over. And VAR, love it or hate it, is there to get the big calls right. You are now more informed about the World Cup than most people watching it. Tomorrow on this channel, the 5 teams most likely to win the 2026 World Cup, and why the answer might surprise you. Because it's not who most people are picking. Drop a comment below. Which rule confused you the most before watching this video? Subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow.